She sees you before she hears you. Before you say a single word, before you crack a joke or flex your wallet, her brain has already made a decision. Women are wired to notice, scan, and judge faster than you think. And no, it's not your muscles, not your height, and definitely not your bank account that makes the first impact. It's three powerful, unexpected body parts that send silent signals about your strength, your confidence, and your ability to protect, connect, and lead. Miss these, and you're invisible. Master them, and she'll never forget you. If this already hit a nerve, don't just scroll. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Trust me, what's coming next might just change the way you show up forever. Before you speak, before you move, your eyes are doing all the talking, and what they say can either pull her in or push her away. You might think it's just about staring or making eye contact, but it's deeper than that. The human brain is evolutionarily trained to read microexpressions in less than 3 seconds, especially in the eyes. Why? Because eyes reveal emotion, intention, and confidence faster than any other part of the body. Women, biologically wired for protection and connection, are hyper-attuned to this. When she looks into your eyes, she's scanning for one thing: certainty, not aggression, not coldness, certainty. A calm, grounded gaze tells her, you are present. You're not hiding. You're not pretending. You're emotionally available, but in control. Scientific studies from Princeton and the University of Toronto show that eye contact boosts perceptions of trustworthiness, dominance, and emotional intelligence, all traits women instinctively desire. And the opposite is true too. Shifty eyes, distracted gaze, you're signaling fear, insecurity, avoidance. She doesn't just see it, she feels it. That's why some men, even without perfect looks or great physiques, walk into a room and command attention. It's not magic, it's presence, and it shows in the eyes first. Here's the shocker. Sexual attraction isn't the first thing a woman looks for. It's safety. Not physical safety, but emotional safety. Can she relax around you? Can she trust that your words match your energy? Can she be seen without feeling watched? And your eyes answer that question before you ever open your mouth. That's why pornified gazes or overly intense stares backfire. They don't feel safe. But a steady, relaxed, deeply observant gaze, that's intoxicating. It's rare, and it tells her you're not just looking at her body, you're reading her soul. The eyes don't lie. They reveal whether you're connected to yourself. Because no woman will trust a man who can't even meet his own reflection. So if you want her attention, stop trying to be sexy. Be seen, and let your eyes do what words never could. Ask ChatGPT. A man's hands are one of the most underestimated signals of attraction. But to a woman, they speak volumes, not because they're big or strong, but because of what they suggest about you. In evolutionary psychology, hands are tools of both survival and connection. They build, protect, comfort, or destroy. That's why a woman subconsciously notices your hands almost immediately. She doesn't just see them, she reads them. Are they tense or relaxed? Do they move with intention or restlessly fidget? Are they clean, cared for, or ignored? Each of these signals reveals something about how you live, think, and treat others. Science shows that our brains are hardwired to assess hands for safety and intent. According to research published in the journal Psychological Science, the brain prioritizes the visibility of hands over other body parts when assessing trust. Why? Because the hands can either welcome or wound. A calm, open hand posture signals ease. Clenched fists or twitchy fingers suggest stress, danger, or lack of control. So, when you're speaking to a woman and your hands are calm, slow, and expressive, you're signaling that you are grounded, safe, intentional, and that's deeply attractive. Women also associate hands with sensuality, not because of fantasy, but because of sensitivity. Hands that are firm yet gentle, confident yet not forceful, suggest emotional control. And emotional control is the foundation of masculine presence. It tells her you're not reactive, not insecure, not desperate to impress. You are sure of yourself. And that quiet confidence is often more seductive than anything loud or obvious. There's also the subtle cue of grooming. Rough, unkempt, or dirty hands aren't just unattractive, They subconsciously signal neglect. If you can't take care of your own body, how can you take care of someone else's heart? On the flip side, well-maintained hands, clean nails, moisturized skin, no nervous habits signal that you value yourself. And self-value is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can embody. Remember, it's not about having perfect hands. It's about what your hands say about the way you live, the way you move, the way you touch, the way you lead. Women don't just want to be held. They want to be held by a man whose hands say, I know who I am, and I know how to treat what matters. Before you speak, before she even locks eyes with you, she sees the shape of your presence, and it starts with posture. You could have the face of a movie star and the body of an athlete, but if you carry yourself like you don't matter, she'll believe you. And, that's the message. Bringing whatever it is you're doing to be that much more intentional. The way you touch, the way you lead. And if you start with a message being whatever it is they need right now, you can literally change their life if you literally give them the intention. Because posture is more than physical, it's psychological. It's your body's way of telling the world what you believe about yourself. And women notice that instantly. In fact, studies from Harvard University on power posing found that posture not only influences how others see you, it literally changes your brain chemistry. A slouched inward posture lowers testosterone and raises cortisol, reducing confidence and increasing anxiety. Meanwhile, an open, upright stance boosts your dominance hormones and sends a signal of calm certainty. And that signal, it's exactly what a woman's subconscious is scanning for. Posture reveals self-respect. It shows whether you own your space or shrink from it, whether you lead with your chest or hide behind your phone, whether you move with purpose or drift through moments. A straight spine and steady shoulders don't just look attractive, they feel attractive to the people around you because they project strength without aggression and calm. Women aren't drawn to arrogance or overcompensation. They're drawn to men who move like they're enough. Men who don't need to puff out their chests to prove they belong, but don't shrink to seem non-threatening either. Balanced, grounded posture tells her, I'm here. I know who I am. I don't need to force it. And that message, it's magnetic. Even in silence, posture speaks. It speaks in how you enter a room, in how you sit across from her, in how you stand when no one's watching. Your body is either collapsing into insecurity or rising into self-worth. And trust this, she can feel the difference. So straighten your back, lift your chin, not out of ego, but out of alignment with who you want to be. Because posture isn't about perfection, it's about energy, and energy doesn't lie. If your body looks like you believe in yourself, she won't just see it, she'll feel it. And in a world full of noise, a man who carries himself like he matters doesn't need to say a word. His presence does the talking. Long before language existed, voice was the first form of connection. And to this day, a man's voice, its tone, depth, and rhythm, still has the power to arouse, comfort, or repel. What most men don't realize is that women are biologically wired to respond to vocal cues. A study published in Biology Letters confirmed that women are significantly more attracted to men with lower-pitched voices, not because it sounds sexy, but because it subconsciously signals strength, maturity, and reproductive fitness. But this isn't about artificially lowering your voice. That's performative. The real power comes from resonance, the calm, grounded sound of a man who's in control of his emotions. When you speak with intention instead of urgency, when your voice lands instead of chases, you create safety. And safety is the gateway to attraction. Fast-talking, high-pitched, anxious tones send one clear message: I need your approval. But a slow, steady, resonant voice says, I'm already enough. That energy puts her at ease. It gives her space to feel, listen, and relax. It tells her she doesn't need to be on guard because you're not just speaking to her. You're holding the moment. Even more than what you say, it's how you say it that leaves the impression. Is your voice sharp or soft? Do you rush your words or let them breathe? Do you pause with power or fill silence with noise? Women pick up on this instantly, not just with their ears, but with their nervous system. Your voice reveals your emotional state. It reflects your self-regulation. It shows whether you're leading the energy or reacting to it. And in relationships, that's everything. Because when a woman hears steadiness in your voice, she feels stability. When she hears presence, she feels priority. And when she hears warmth, not weakness, but warmth, she feels safe to let her guard down. In a world full of men yelling to be heard, the one who speaks with calm, quiet confidence will always stand out, not because he demands attention, but because his energy is undeniable. If you want to unlock her deeper attraction, start not by trying to impress her, but by learning how to speak in a way that grounds her. The right voice doesn't just get her attention, it reaches her core. Most men think grooming is optional, something you do for special occasions, job interviews, or when you're trying to impress someone. But here's the truth. Your skin and grooming are silent messengers. They don't just reflect hygiene, they reflect how much you value yourself. And a woman notices immediately. Your skin is your largest organ. It's a living, breathing reflection of how you care for yourself. Dry, cracked, oily, neglected skin isn't just a turnoff. It communicates neglect in other areas: discipline, consistency, health, self-respect. On the flip side, healthy, cared-for skin tells her that you prioritize the details. You don't just manage your life, you honor it. Psychologically, women associate clean skin and grooming with emotional availability and social intelligence. A man who puts effort into the way he looks, not out of vanity, but out of inner dignity, is a man who understands the energy he brings into a room. It's not about being polished like a model, it's about being intentional. Your grooming, the way you trim your nails, shape your beard, scent your body, isn't superficial. It's sacred. It tells her you know how to take care of yourself, and therefore, you know how to take care of her. Cleanliness, soft skin, fresh breath, well-fitted clothes, these are not just nice-to-haves. They are signals of readiness. Readiness to lead, readiness to connect, readiness to be seen. Neglect isn't masculine, it's lazy. And in today's world, where women are more attuned to emotional and physical energy than ever, a man who's careless with his appearance is telling her something far deeper. I don't see myself as valuable, and if you don't see it, she won't either. But when you walk in with skin that glows, grooming that's sharp, and a scent that lingers, not aggressively but just enough, she doesn't just notice, she feels it. Because that level of care isn't about attracting her, it's about honoring yourself. And that kind of self-respect, that's irresistible. She's not looking for perfection, she's looking for presence. And the man who treats his own body with care is often the one who understands the sacred responsibility of treating hers the same way.